All geographic places of interest on the website are handled in a very similar way, and by those I mean accommodation, attractions, services, and trail images. These all have geographic points which show on a map, have a relationship to a trail, and then some supplementary information which help them create a positive user experience. Let's start by looking at accommodation. By clicking on accommodation on the left-hand side, you'll be presented with a full list of all accommodation on the website. This can be filtered to your trail by using the filter button here and then selecting a particular trail. Then just click filter. This will then load the expected number of accommodation listings for that trail. This filter works in exactly the same way across all of the places of interest. Once filtered, you'll then be able to make an easy selection into a place that you're interested in editing. You may also, for example, want to use the search feature. The search feature on the right hand side also searches for phone numbers, website addresses and description fields used to describe accommodation names as well as the place names itself. So let's, for example, look for Moor's Edge, which I can already see on screen. Here we see it at the top of the screen. Let's just click into an example listing and jump over to an example listing that's already quite filled out, just so we can see what it looks like. Here we have Pipley Barn. This is on Cotswold Way. Similar to the short maps we've already covered, you'll see that the title is in the same place and behaves in exactly the same way. The page will look fairly similar also. A trail has already been selected. You could select an additional trail here, for example, if it's part of the England Coast Path, or you could change the trail by clicking X and selecting a new one. Here we can see the image gallery has already been used quite extensively, but again, if we would like to, we can click X here and we can click Add to Gallery in order to upload more files through a familiar file upload box. Now scrolling down, we can see here we have an accommodation type that we should select. These are broad categories, but these are used to populate the mapping on the front end of the website. Moving on, we see here we have an opportunity to insert a URL for the property website or link to a booking engine. We also have the opportunity to describe any gradings your accommodation may have, edit a description area with some basic word editing features like bold, italic, underline here. And then below here we have the location area. So within the location area you'll see here that there's already a blue pin. This marker can be zoomed in on and dragged and dropped to update the coordinates which you'll see on the screen here. By dragging and dropping you'll see that the coordinates are automatically updating. We can also use this feature here to search for an address on a map, which will automatically place the marker where it has been selected. So if we search for BA19BZ, then we see that we can actually select the road that the property should be on. By clicking on it, it has already moved the marker, updated the latitude and longitude for us, and has completed the box below, the full address box. Any fine-tune adjustments you make to the marker will represent that in the latitude and longitude coordinates, and this will be shown to the user on the front end as well, but it will not then edit the full address for you anymore. From here you can then make sure that you include the property name correctly and edit the address so that you're happy that it's shown in an appropriate way for the user on the front end of the website. If you went through the process again by selecting a new address and clicking on one of the results, again it would behave in exactly the same way. It would reset the location, update the latitude and longitude fields, and then fully reset the full address field too. So just be mindful of that. The full address really is for display purposes only. The map location is what's used in the logic to show the markers on the site and also to section the accommodation into suitable areas for the accommodation listing pages. The next few boxes are fairly self-explanatory, but you can see here we have a variety of input fields for contact details, and then we have some optional details here which are tabbed. So we have capacity and pricing, general facilities, of which for each you have a option yes, no, or leave it saying select if it's unknown, and it won't show on the front end as having either. We then have some equestrian facilities and cycling facilities as well, and these will just be shown on the front end of the website to users if they have these facilities available. You'll notice when logged into the website you always have a view accommodation or view content type link at the top of the page. If I click that, we'll go to the front end to see what this looks like. So here we can see the detail page view for the listing we've looked at, Pipley Barn. We can see that the location matches the pin that has been placed at the back end of the website. We also have all of the images available in this image gallery. The description is displayed in full, and below that we have the accommodation details and then the facilities for the items which have been checked as either a yes or a no. Those facilities that have been left as the undecided select option will not be shown. Whilst logged in, you'll also have the black bar across the top of the screen, and you can use the link to edit accommodation to go back to the page we were just previously on. If you have made any edits to the page and you'd like to either preview them or save them, then you can do so from the publish box. Any changes you've made prior to clicking view accommodation, you can click preview in order to see what these look like on the front end of the site, or if you're happy with the changes you've made, they won't make an impact to the functionality of the website, but perhaps you've updated a location slightly or have updated a description. Once these changes have been made, you can just click update and this will update the data in the database, and this will be available to the public over the coming hour or two. So this completes looking at the accommodation. As we'll see in the next couple of videos, attractions, services and trail images, the three other place of interest types on the site, behave in a very similar way, and we'll just have a quick tour over these next.